Hi everyone, in today's video we're going to be describing the physiological anatomy of outer, middle and inner ear, and after that we're going to do a quick recap of impedance matching and then the attenuation reflex. Let's start first of all with the physiology and anatomy of the outer and middle and inner ear. So outer ear, basically in this diagram you can see this is the outer ear until here, then from here onwards you have the middle ear, and then this is the inner ear, right? So outer ear up till here, middle ear and inner ear. Outer ear's function is to collect and direct sound waves to the tympanic membrane. What are the components? Pinna, which is the auricle, it is made up of elastic cartilage. It collects and funnels the sound waves. Then external auditory canal. Let me just bring this diagram here. Yes, and let me resize it. Okay, perfect. So you can see that pinna, first of all, this is part of your outer ear, and then external auditory canal, this one, and then tympanic membrane, eardrum. So tympanic membrane, even though here it's showing it's part of the middle ear, but actually it is part of your outer ear because it is easily exposed to the outer world, right? So tympanic membrane, which is also known as the eardrum. So up till here, you have your outer ear, including your eardrum, right? So this is your outer ear. What exactly? Pinna, which is auricle, then the canal, and then the tympanic membrane. So pinna, auricle, it is made up of elastic cartilage. Its function is to collect and funnel the sound waves. Then auditory canal, it is 2.5 centimeter long. It is outer one third cartilaginous, inner two third is bony. The outer one third is cartilaginous, the inner two third is bony. See, you can see here, this is bony, inner two third, and outer one third is cartilaginous. So this one is cartilaginous, and this is bony. Right, so outer one third of your external auditory canal is cartilaginous. It is lined by skin with ceruminous glands. Ceruminous glands, it means that they produce cerumen, which is the earwax. Earwax is good because it protects your ear. It keeps it protected from the ear infections, and it keeps it protected from all the other sort of fungi and bacteria and from dust and dirt, right? Tympanic membrane is the eardrum. It forms boundary with the middle ear. It is thin, fibrous membrane. It vibrates in response to the sound waves. What are sound waves? Sound waves are basically the fluctuations in the frequency of the waves that produces sound. So basically, tympanic membrane is what? It it vibrates in response to the sound wave. So this is your outer ear. Middle ear's function is that it transmits and amplifies sound vibrations from tympanic membrane to the inner ear. So there has to be something that amplifies, and amplification is known as the impedance matching. Impedance matching is done by the system and the ossicular system and the tympanic membrane. So tympanic membrane and ossicular system collectively they do the impedance matching. That is one thing you need to know. Impedance matching is done by the ossicular system right here and the tympanic membrane. Right, so tympanic membrane we already studied is it's a part of the outer ear. Middle ear you have the tympanic cavity, which is the air-filled cavity in the temporal bone. This entire bone is the temporal bone, right? So air-filled cavity, tympanic cavity is a part of your middle ear. Other than that, the ossicles. Tympanic cavity, auditory ossicles. There's three small bones, malleus, incus, and stapes. M-I-S, malleus, incus, and stapes. Malleus is attached to the tympanic membrane, and after that you have the incus, right? And then you have your stapes. And stapes footplate, it articulates with the oval window of the bony labyrinth, right? Not the bony labyrinth, but the labyrinth, I guess. But with the cochlea, you can say oval window of the membrane membranous labyrinth of the cochlea. Membranous labyrinth of the cochlea. Yes, membranous. Okay. So oval window. After this, this is the auditory vesicles, right? So auditory vesicles. You also have a few ligaments. So let me just tell you about that. First of all, tympanic membrane. Then you have the handle of the malleus. Then there is minute ligaments between malleus and incus. Then you have incus. Then you have the neck of stapes here, and then you have the footplate of stapes, which is against the oval window, but in between them is a loose annular ligament. So here you have minute ligament, here you have the loose annular ligament. Okay. Now moving forward, other than that, you have the windows also, oval window and round window in the middle ear. See, oval window and round window also you have them in the middle ear. And then you have the muscles, tensor tympani and stapedius. Tensor tympani, and both of these basically decrease the sound, the loud sound. that reflex is known as attenuation because these both get contracted. That's another mechanism I'll explain to you. That is the attenuation reflex. Tensor tympani dampens the vibrations of the tympanic membrane, and stapedius prevents excessive movements of the stapes. So here you can see this is tensor tympani. This is stapedius. Tensor tympani originates from the cartilaginous part of the auditory tube. So cartilaginous part, which is the interior one-third part of the auditory tube, the greater wing of the sphenoid bone, and the bony canal in the petrous part of the temporal bone. So basically, tensor tympani originates from the cartilaginous part of the auditory tube, and it inserts into the manubrium handle of the malleus. With stapedius, it originates from the temporal bone and it inserts into the neck of the stapes. So insertion is both of the ossicles, right? So you have tympanic cavity, auditory ossicles, windows, muscles, and eustachian tube. Eustachian tube is also the part of your middle ear. So eustachian tube you can see here. So it's also the part of the middle tube, right? This is the eustachian tube, also known as pharyngeotympanic tube. Um, Eustachian tube, it connects the middle ear to the nasopharynx. It equalizes air pressure on both sides of the tympanic membrane. Then you have the inner ear. Inner ear does what? It converts the mechanical sound vibrations into nerve impulses. Mechanical sound vibrations into nerve impulses and maintains balance. So outer ear was collecting and directing the sound waves to the tympanic membrane. The middle ear had the tympanic cavity, auditory ossicles, windows, muscles, and the eustachian. This was amplifying the sound waves from tympanic membrane to the ear. Inner ear, why is this needed? I'll explain that in impedance matching because there is impedance. The sound is coming from air filled medium. These both are air filled medium, outer and middle ear, to a fluid filled medium. So obviously there are chances that there will be some dissipation of energy. So in order to equalize the dissipation of energy, in order to counterbalance that, the sound is amplified here. So then it is progressed further so that even if there's some dissipation, at the end you're getting the exact amount that you wanted initially of the sound. So inner ear, it converts the mechanical sound vibrations into the nerve impulses and also it maintains the balance. Components of the inner ear are, so inner ear labyrinth, it lies in the temporal bone. So you can see inner ear, it is lying in the temporal bone. It has a bony labyrinth and a membranous labyrinth. Bony labyrinth is filled with the perilymph and membranous labyrinth is filled with the endolymph. Bony one is filled with the perilymph. So BP. Bony is filled with the perilymph and membranous is filled with the endolymph. Me and BP. Right? So for example, me have BP. Like that you can remember. Membranous with endolymph, bony with the perilymph. And bony has cochlea, vestibule, and semicircular canals. Cochlea, vestibule, and semicircular canals. Cochlea is for hearing, vestibule is for balance, semicircular canals are also for balance. And membranous, it has cochlear ducts, scala media, utricle and saccule, semicircular ducts, organ of Corti. So these are the four things. Let me highlight them. These four things, and then cochlear duct, utricle and saccule, semicircular ducts, organ of Corti. Okay, now moving forward, let me continue in the next video.